Yo, it's your boy, Go Talk Sports. We're back with another week and another video. This is week 15, college football, conference championship week. Really big week for everyone and everything. Really going to see how the college football playoff stacks up. So really excited to see what happens this week and what's going to happen. But the games start tonight. I'm really excited to watch some of these games tonight. Mountain West Championships tonight as well as Conference USA. I also see the American Conference. Haven't watched as much of that today, but going to watch it as well so I can give you a nice in-depth analysis at the end of this week when the game's over. But let's get it right off right now. So we're seeing the first game of the week is Western Kentucky, Jacksonville State. Conference USA Championship. Both teams 8-4 this year. I really like Western Kentucky. I've liked them, stand-up hilltoppers. My cousin, Brandon Lesson, shout out Brandon Lesson, played safety at Western Kentucky for 3-4 years. Was a great player. I got to watch a lot of Western Kentucky games. So really like Western Kentucky, really like their program. The old coach left, but Tyson Helton's now the coach. They got a really good program there. One of the better, smaller programs that you never really hear about, but got a few players in the league and some really good players. Quarterbacks, Bailey Zappi, Mike White, to name a few. But their new quarterback is Caden Veltkamp. Cade Veltkamp. He has 2,665 yards this year, 22 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. I said at the beginning of the year they were starting to transfer from Texas State. Unsure of his name, but he was starting at the beginning of the year, and when he was starting, the team just didn't look the same. They weren't building as much and weren't doing what they needed to do. So I knew Veltkamp came in. He played the bowl game last year, and he really showed what he can do and how good of a player he is. So I had the opportunity to watch him there and really liked what I saw. And now I think he's only a sophomore this year, so getting to play and getting that opportunity to kind of show what he can do and lead that team. So I like Western Kentucky a lot in that game. As I said, the offense is really, really good. The defense, keeps them in games and plays better than people really give him credit for. But Veltkamp's the truth, and we'll see. He'll have those couple more years to develop and really show who he is. And I think he could be an NFL quarterback. Starter remains to be seen, but he's a really good player. Big kid, big strong kid that can make plays whenever you need him to. So if you want to go to the game in Jacksonville, Alabama, it's $7. Not going to make it down to Jacksonville, Alabama, but $7. Both teams 8-4. Like I said, we're going with Western Kentucky. Stand up tops. And that's my first pick of the day. So for the Conference USA champions, we're going to go Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. Next game we got is the Mountain West Championship. That's at Albertson Stadium in Boise, Idaho. Oh, I thought it was at a neutral site, but good to know it's at Albertson Stadium in Boise. Played at Albertson's Stadium in Boise when I played in the famous Idaho Potato Bowl at University of Wyoming. The blue turf is one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life. Boise's actually, when I was there, wasn't as much developed as it is now, but Boise's kind of developing into a really big place that a lot of people are moving to. It's a great, really beautiful place. So we'll see there. But in this game, we got UNLV, who's 10-2, number 20 in the nation, versus Boise State, who's number 10, 11-1. As much as I like UNLV, I've always been riding on the Run Rebels all year. I'm going to go with Boise State in this game. I think Ashton Jonte is going to have a really, really big game. He's got a lot to prove if he wants to win that Heisman. So we're going to go with the Boise State Broncos. I think their logo is one of the coolest in sports. I like the blue turf. I like all this. I like that. So we're going to go with Ashton Jonte. I think he's going to have a really big game. I'm going to go 200-plus yards if he wants to win that Heisman. If he does have 200-plus yards, I think he can win the Heisman, and he should win the Heisman. I love Travis Hunter. I like what Colorado's doing. Again, I'm a Colorado boy at heart. But, I think it's time for a running back to win. Travis Hunter's a great player doing what he's doing. But I like Ashton Jonte. I like Boise State in that game. Maddox Madsen, 3 picks all year. 21 touchdowns, 3 picks. That's pretty impressive. No matter how many times you throw the ball, even if you got a great running back. He still has 2,500 yards, so he's throwing the ball a decent amount. Ashton Jonte, 312 carries, 2,288 yards, 28 touchdowns. What can I say about that other than he's a baller? He deserves to win that. He's one of the most humble kids, gives all glory to God. So really love what Boise State's doing up there, and I think they're going to win that game. Next game we got is Tulane and Army. This is a game I don't have a lot of knowledge on. I haven't really watched much Army this year or Tulane. Just not much of an American Conference person ever since SMU left. But Army's home. It's in West Point, New York. It looks like Army's quarterback has 1,300 rushing yards this year, 25 touchdowns. And Tulane's got a good quarterback, 2,500 yards, 20 touchdowns. So I really think this game could go either way just based on the stats I'm seeing. It says Tulane's favored by 5. I'm unsure. I think Tulane could win that game, but I think Army is a tough team to stop. They hold the ball a lot of the time because they run that triple option and do that. So we're going to go with Army just because go military academies. Appreciate their service, but don't know enough about it, but we're going to go with Army on that one. So that's my knowledge on that. Next game we got is the Big 12 championship game. It's Iowa State, Arizona State. It's in Texas. I like Arizona State in this game a lot. I love what Kenny Dillingham's doing down there in Tempe, Arizona. They got a really good running back in Cam Scatteraboo. He's got 247 carries, 1,400 yards, and 17 touchdowns this year. And then Arizona State's best receiver as well, 75 receptions, 1,100 yards, 10 touchdowns. So they got a good program building down there in Arizona State. At the beginning of the year, it seemed like they were kind of still the Arizona State of old, but it seems like really now they're developing a lot into what they should be and who they should be. So I like Arizona State a lot in this game. Again, Kenny Dillingham, I think, is from Oregon, was used to be their OC, but now is the head coach at Arizona State. So Iowa State, Matt Campbell is a great coach. He's been building a great program down there in Iowa State for a while. But just like Arizona State in this game, I think they got too much offensively and defensively for Iowa State to really compete. Iowa State was undefeated for all those weeks, and then they kind of slumped at the end of the year. So Arizona State, we're riding with Arizona State today. Fork 'em, let's go Devils. But that's what I like there. Arizona State's favored by 1.5, so Vegas also thinks it's going to be a close game, just like me. Next game we got is Miami of Ohio and Ohio. We got Ohio, who's 9-3, Miami, Ohio, who's 8-4. This is the MAC championship. Nothing better than some action on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Miami, Ohio's 8-4, 9-3. Miami, Ohio is favored by 2 points. If you guys want to make it to Detroit, Michigan, tickets are $4. I don't know anyone who's in there. For sure, going for $4, you might as well. Even if you don't like football, just go watch the game. But based on what I'm seeing here, stats: Gabbert is Miami, Ohio's quarterback. 21 touchdowns, 2,600 passing yards. Don't know if he has any relation to Blaine Gabbert, but and then they got a really good running back in Mozzie is what I'm seeing here. So we're gonna go with Miami, Ohio, just based on the fact that I know someone that went there, and go Red Hawk Nation. So we're going to ride with Miami, Ohio. Again, I haven't watched enough of that team either. Don't watch enough action on Tuesdays, Wednesdays. Sorry, I get kind of busy. But like Miami, Ohio in that game, it just seems like based on what I'm seeing and everything, they got a better offense, and they're going to win that game. Next game we got is another great game, SEC Championship. Texas's first year versus the Stone Cold Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia Bulldogs got on won on a big game last week against Georgia Tech. They pulled it out at the end in 8 overtimes. 1 overtime away from the record, which was set by Illinois, Penn State in, I think, 2021. But Georgia, Georgia's a team that, I can't make an opinion on them because sometimes they look like the best team in the NFL, in college football, and sometimes they look like the worst. Like, they just let these teams get out to really high leads, and they always got to claw their way back and fight their way back. Sometimes their offense looks inept. I can't give you a reason why or what's going on there or why they do it. It's a very weird kind of thing that goes on with Georgia. But Carson Beck, everyone was trying to tell me before the beginning of the year that he's this great quarterback, that he's one of the best quarterbacks we've ever seen coming out of college. I'm not seeing it, to be honest. I think he's okay. I think he's good. But he makes too many mistakes. He just sometimes just doesn't look confident out there. He's not giving the reads that I feel like he needs and this, that, and the other thing. So in this game, I hate to say it, but I'm going to go with Texas. I think they get their revenge. I like Quinn. I like what Steve Sarkisian is doing down there. I like the switch up that they do when they put Arch in to kind of give him a different look and give him that kind of that running option. That crazy enough, Arch is just a crazy athlete. I mean, I saw Peyton and Eli. I mean, I know he's Cooper's son, but all right, Cooper, I see you balling out there, bro. I see you. So uh, we're going to go Texas in this game. I think they get the revenge. It wouldn't surprise me if Georgia won, though. Georgia is just, they're Georgia, Kirby Smart and them boys, great coach. So, but Texas is only lost this year to Georgia. So we're going to go with Texas. I hope they get that win back. If not, they don't fall to the playoff. I think Georgia might need this win to stay in the playoff, but we're going with the Hook'em Horns. Let's ride with Texas. Got to ride with Texas just because of ponies. But anyways, we'll get to the ponies in a second. Next we got is the Sun Belt Championship. We got Marshall versus Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns. Louisiana's favored by 6. I don't know if I like the spread, but I like the Raging Cajuns to win this game. Sun Belt, kind of a conference that, again, I watch sparingly, but they got some ballers on there based on what I'm seeing. Their quarterback's good. They got a really good receiver, and I like Louisiana Lafayette. Of course, they're at home, so that always is going to help. They're going to have a lot of fans down there rocking in Louisiana. So we're going to go with the Raging Cajuns of Louisiana Lafayette. And Billy Napier is from Louisiana Lafayette. I know people might be like, oh, Florida's this, that, and the other thing. Florida's starting to build, man. If you don't think Florida's starting to build and you think a program's going to get changed in 1-2 years, like all these people with wishful thinking are thinking, you're wrong, because it's not going to happen. It takes a few years to build a program, especially when they're in the dumps. Like Billy Napier is a program builder. It seems like Florida's kind of coming around. They're getting a lot of recruits in that is going to help that team a lot. So we're going to go with the Cajuns. It has nothing to do with that, but Billy Napier, shout out Billy Napier in Florida. Next game we got is Penn State and Oregon. I'm going to be honest, man. I don't really think this is a hard game to pick. I'm going with Oregon. Not that I think Oregon's really that like a world beater and that great of a team, but I don't think Penn State's good at all. It's kind of disrespectful, but they're number 3 in the nation. But Penn State, I mean, who have they played this year? The one good team they played was Ohio State, and they got blown out. So I'm not sold on James Franklin as a coach. I think he's a decent coach, but it seems like when he needs to win big games, he doesn't. Just as Ryan Day at Ohio State, that's another one that I would say, he's a good coach, but he's not going to win you that big game. So we'll see what Oregon is. I think Oregon wins this game pretty handily. It's only favored by 3.5, but I like Oregon in this game. I think they're a better team. I think they're better coached. Penn State hasn't really shown anything to me this year that would make me think that they're going to win. I know if it was in Penn State, I'd say maybe, because Oregon, that's a long trip and it's going to be jumping with the whiteout and this, that, and the other thing. But I just don't see it for Penn State. I haven't seen enough this year to make me think that they're going to win the game. And then lastly, you already know what it is. It's SMU and Clemson. I'm picking Clemson. I'm kidding, man. I got the SMU hat on. Of course I'm picking the ponies. Let's fucking pony up, SMU this year, I've been trying to tell people, I've been trying to tell all my friends beginning of the year, the last couple of years, that SMU's on the rise. Rhett Lashley's doing a great job down there in Dallas, and the hype for SMU is starting to get back in the Dallas train. People are starting to come to games. They're starting to talk about SMU and the program and this, and they're really building. And I would go on record and say at the beginning of the year, I was playing NCAA college football with my buddy, and Preston, I was SMU, doing dynasty or whatever, and I had Preston starting, and like 2 games in, I'm like, I got a benchman, man. I don't think he's as good as Kevin. And I used to hoop with Kevin Jennings at the rec center, so shout out Kevin, man. You're a really, really nice, kind-hearted kid. Glad to see you're balling out. Think you're one of the most underrated quarterbacks in college. I would say that. The team seems to really rally on you, and people love to be around you. So SMU 11-1, Clemson 9-3. SMU's got to win this game to make the playoff. They've been getting no respect all year. They lost to BYU, who's kind of fallen off at the end of the year, but BYU was undefeated, number 6 in the country for most of the year. So I hate that, but we're riding with the ponies. SMU, let's go, pony up. Brashard Smith, 193 carries, 1,100 yards, 14 touchdowns. He's really, really good. I am seeing this right now. Klubnik's been balling this year. I'm impressed by Klubnik, but 3 losses is unacceptable. Yeah, one was to Georgia. I get that, but Clemson just hasn't been the same since the transfer portal on this, and Deshaun leaving and Trevor Lawrence leaving. So we'll see how they are. I think it's going to be a great, great game. SMU's favored by 2.5, but I got to ride with my dogs. I got to ride with the SMU Mustangs. Got a degree from there. Love Dallas, love SMU, love the vibe, and forever and ever, pony up. This was week 15 of the college football season, Conference Championship week. This was a preview. I'll hit you back on Sunday. We'll give you the review. Might not be Sunday, might be Monday. Just depends on what's going on with the days. But appreciate y'all joining along for the preview. I couldn't do this without y'all. I'm just doing something I'm really passionate about. And I'm going to keep posting videos, keep believing in myself. But pony up. Let's go Mustangs. Hope everyone has a great weekend and loves this weekend of college football. Check out the TikTok. Check out the Instagram. All Dill Talk Sports. But this is Dill Talk Sports signing out. Peace up and God bless.